Often when people have had a bereavement, there can be lots of things going on, especially the early kind of weeks and months, lots of changes and lots of emotions going on as well. And people often don't realise actually how tiring that can be. And it's almost people can go on autopilot and really busy themselves in that early stage of grief. A lot of young people say that, that tiredness suddenly just almost hits them at a later date, and just wondering whether that's something that you've experienced in your grief.
Yeah, I definitely have. So, because my dad was ill for a good 6 weeks before he passed away, I was running around, didn't realise how tired I was, but like you said, it's like an autopilot. You're in fight or flight. So when it happens, you just have to continue. Then when the funeral happened, the burial happened, we had a lot of family at our house, and it was really hard to even have a break then. I think once they all left and it went more quiet, that's when I realised I'm really tired, I'm really exhausted. And what was concerning was I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep.
Yeah, and I guess I'm thinking about your physical, tiredness, but you mentioned there about sleep, which can often be around that emotional tiredness as well, and not just the physical stuff that's going on, which also makes you tired, but that emotional kind of tiredness as well.
Yeah, I was physically and emotionally tired, internally and externally. And I remember feeling very annoyed because the moment where I did finally fall asleep, I would wake up and I would feel so unrested because my brain was still working. I woke up with a literal headache. I do think if maybe I had given myself some grace or a break or taken a step back for a second to just focus and listen to what my body needed in that time, and understood that it was okay and no one was gonna judge me or be upset with me for just listening to my body.
Yeah, and you've mentioned break, that word, a couple of times. So do you feel like that is the antidote to that tiredness, and managing that is that break?
It's, and it doesn't have to be something big, it's just something small to check in with yourself. I think a lot of people think that they're not allowed a break because it's selfish, but the best thing you can do is be selfish and take care of your mental health, your physical health. You have to be merciful to yourself. Understand that you're not like a machine that can be running for hours and hours. You need rest, you need to go to sleep, you need to have a break, you need that cup of tea, you need that moment of silence, you need to be away from people. Even so, for example, when you start work in the day, you log in, you have a break. When you go to school, you have breaks in between. If you're going through a life experience, something as really difficult and heavy as death, no one expects you to go through a person passing away or a loss without taking some time for yourself. And it's okay to ask for just some moments alone.
Yeah, I really hear that. And I'm just wondering about your break then, and how you did that for yourself. You mentioned like alone time. Like, was that your break? Was that you taking care of yourself?
Yeah, I just needed to be alone in my place and just sleep or put the lights off and just be in bed. And that was completely okay.